Welcome to New Mexico Black Rifle Operators Union. I'm your host, Sean. I'm going to make it a short one tonight because work totally drug me through the grinder today. But in today's Schadenfreude, you have to just laugh. From thetruthaboutguns.com. Houston catches on to 3D printed junk guns at buyback events. So, the story's been passed around multiple news outlets, and I've seen it on Truth About Guns, but I saw a couple of other bloggers and a couple of other podcasters talking about this. And I, being more of a libertarian type guy, I actually love this. Because I think this person ended up using the money gotten from this purchase or this buyback of these ghost guns, somewhere to the tune of $150 a pop, and he sold 61 of them to them. So you do the math. That's not a bad trade-off, considering the components were mostly the cheapest plastic possible with 3D print job, and some metal components that were, nickels and dimes a piece. But the idea here was that they were going to use this money that they got from this sale, that's basically what it was, right, to purchase actual firearms, like through an FFL. Now, I love this for two reasons. The number one reason why I love it is that the government's doing stupid stuff with this idea. To think that you're going to take guns out of criminals' hands. A criminal isn't going to hand in their gun. Anyone that has a gun that is worth anything to themselves as a tool or any other reason is going to hold on to it. $150 isn't going to purchase a gun from me. However, I definitely would do this. I'm not encouraging you to. You do you. But everywhere that a buyback happens, this should be carried out, or this type of behavior. The only way the government's going to learn from their stupid mistakes is by taking advantage of them financially. And there is no way better to do that than at a gun buyback. I've heard stories of people making the little zip shotguns out of a 3/4 inch pipe, I think it is. They're just slam fire shotguns, and selling those because the rule was they had to be able to work. That was the main thing. Well, these printed 3D guns that they printed actually function. They're Derringers. They're one-shot wonders, maybe two shots, made out of the material, but they would function. And that's why they had to be purchased. Until next time. Which is really hilarious. The next gun buyback, Houston has said that they will not be purchasing ghost guns, quote-unquote ghost guns, because that's what these are called, right? So they learned their lesson the first time. And I think that's what's going to happen most places after they do a gun buyback and they get basically junk. They're already getting junk. But what I mean here, I'm not saying 3D printed stuff is junk. These were purpose built to be the cheapest way possible to print and build these out of the cheapest possible materials so that they got profit from selling these to these guys at a gun buyback. And I'm sorry if I'm laughing. I just find it so hilarious because the simple fact is, imagine thinking that you're going to clean the streets of guns, and you've, instead of getting a $25 Applebee's gift card, you're getting $150 either cash or a $150 Visa gift card. That's what I heard is one of the two options. I've seen two different stories. So you're getting one of these two options. A $150 gift card per gun. And if that gun cost maybe $10, maybe it took you 2 to 4 hours, maybe 8 hours to build this, to build them all, to put them together, you made out like a bandit. You didn't do too bad. Because say you did one of these an hour and you did this for 61 hours, you just made $150 an hour, right? That's not bad. And the only way, look at the COVID benefits. Once they stopped, people started going back to work, right? Or at least that was the idea. A lot of people downsized and realized they didn't need to have the funds that they were working with and could live off of a lot less. So some people aren't working as much or at all. Top that off, the government spends money on stupid things. I mean, we just sent $44 billion to Ukraine. What could they do here for $44 billion? Better yet, why do we need to print $44 billion when we already have an inflation problem? And then the government gets money to do stupid ideas like this or put on stupid events like this to try to curb gun violence. And it does the exact opposite because these guys are now going to be able to afford probably some pretty high-end kit if they wanted to do that. I'm pretty sure that's what the idea was behind this. But it's egg on the face. Imagine the news story that you're doing this cool event to get guns off the street, and this guy throws up a blog saying, hey, I'm doing this just so I can get the money for this. Look, they work, but they cost me $2.50 a piece to make. Just an idea. Imagine the slam-fire shotguns are a little more because metal pipe is more expensive nowadays. But it's still probably cheaper than the $150 it takes for the buyback. And so far, they're not saying any limits to the buyback because they're trying to get as many people, quote-unquote, guns off the street. What really bothers me about the gun buybacks is it takes advantage of the poor, the people that needed the gun. It also takes advantage of the really old and infirmed. I know of a gun buyback, and it tears at my soul to know what I'm going to say next. Someone turned in a Sturmgewehr, an STG-44. Now, anyone who's in the gun world knows this gun. Any video gamer knows this gun. It's the first rifle that was in an intermediate cartridge that was in World War II in mass production. And it's very popular. They're worth probably in excess of $40,000 to $70,000 a piece. Well, this elderly woman found it in the back of her closet from her husband who was in World War II as a bringback. It had the paperwork even to be transferred, I believe. She turned it into a gun buyback for like a $50 gift card. And the rules are with these buybacks is they have to destroy the firearms. So not only did she lose out on $40,000 to $70,000 for a collector's item that could be transferred, the gun was later destroyed when it should have been in a museum or a collector's cabinet because it's a historical firearm. And there weren't that many surviving left. There still aren't that many surviving left. There's a lot of people trying to, quote unquote, they say they're going to make them, but they're vaporware, they're not out there. It makes you think, though. Our government's willing to waste money on this stuff. What else are they wasting money on? This is the public stuff, and we're seeing this now. And if it weren't for social media, we wouldn't see these stories. Food for thought. Maybe it's a chance for you to pay for your next vacation or your next gun of your choice. Like, share, subscribe, rumble. Be great.